Welcome to a new episode of Prepr Talks, and today we have Duncan Buisman as our guest. He's the business owner at Terberg Business Mobility and responsible for developing the business there and lead generation. And I can imagine that's not very easy because mobility is changing a lot. So you are transitioning, as I understand it, from a traditional lease company to a mobility service provider. And not only that sounds quite impressive, but I think that's quite a challenge to change from one business to another. So I'd like to talk about that a little bit. And we want to know how that affects Leadgen, for example, and for your business in general. But first of all, welcome, Duncan. Thank you very much that you have the time for us to do this interview. And first of all, maybe you can give our audience a little introduction of yourself and your role within the company.
Yeah, thank you very much for the invite, Bernard-Jan. Nice to be here. And I'm indeed Duncan Buisman, business owner of Terberg Business Mobility. We are a leasing company and are trying to evolve to a mobility service provider. And in my role, I'm responsible for the developing of the new products that are making sure that our clients are capable of more than just providing lease services, but also mobility services. And I'm also responsible for the developing of our current products. And in that role, I'm also part of the marketing team. So I have to translate the needs of our clients and the challenges they face into content so we can create new leads, but also create new products that are appealing to new customers and so they can reach us and want to collaborate.
Yeah, it's perfect. I'd like to know a little bit more about these mobility services. In a long time ago, when I was a young man, I studied civil engineering. So I used to know a little bit about it, but I think that's long gone. But first, maybe let's dive a little bit deeper into your target audience. Who are you're targeting with your marketing and your products and services?
With Terberg Business Mobility, we are targeting companies that are in the MKB sector, and they have to have around 20 till 150 leasing cars in the company. So around 200 plus employees.
Yeah, and then they have somebody called a car park manager or.
We can call it a car park manager indeed. In Dutch we call it wagenparkbeheerder, but in English it would be car park manager. And he's responsible for all the vehicles they have.
Yeah, and that's the one you need to get in contact with to sell your services and your.
That's one of the first contact persons we have, and we speak to most of the time. But we also are trying to reach out to more of the HR manager, operations manager, and of course, the CEO of the company, because he or she is in charge of the mobility policy that the company wants to use for all their employees. And that's the target group we have to go and shift to. Yeah.
Okay, before we dive deeper into the lead gen part of your business, maybe you can tell us a little bit about how your business is changing, because we have this traditional lease models where you have cars that are leased and then you have this monthly plan. And we on your website also and in the media we hear about these mobility services and mobility as a service, just like software as a service. So maybe you can tell us a little bit about things that are going on in the market and what you are doing with that.
Yeah, there are a lot of different development going on in the market. When we look at our company, it's especially that we have to still the focus on leasing companies, leasing cars. We are also looking into leasing bicycles. And what we are trying to do is to create new products that are focused on the mobility policy of the company, because that's where it all starts. So all of our customers are facing a couple of challenges, especially looking forward into 2025, when the government is going to create new areas where CO2 one of the most important aspects is. There are also other regulations they are thinking about, and this makes sure that all the clients we have face different challenges. And what happens is that there are companies who notice those challenges and come up with new solutions like MaaS, what you said, mobility as a service. We as a leasing company and a future mobility service provider try to make sure that we can provide these solutions as well. But most of all, we want to make sure that the clients have a mobility policy that is fitting all of their employees. So the products we have to deliver, or the products or vehicles that our employees are going to use to go from A to Z, are provided by us, but in a mobility policy that is fitting the company and fitting the company's goals and mission towards 2025, 2030.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. And okay, back to Leadgen. So I imagine the core of your business is still trying to lease cars to these companies, and then you have this innovative part that you are developing these new services. When we look at Leadgen for a lease company like yours, how would you summarize your Leadgen strategy, and what are some of the pillars in that?
Yeah, I think we have 2 or 3 pillars in the Leadgen at the moment. First of all, that you have the pricing of the vehicles that you are promoting. We have different kind of categories of vehicles that we are promoting. You have the new vehicles. You have, of course, the vehicles that are already driving for 1 or 2 years. We call them occasions. And of course, we also have vehicles that are more of a special, and we can see more and more questions asked about the electric vehicles, especially in business cars. How do you say it in English? Not the
company cars, maybe.
Company cars, yeah, the vans. Make sure that the transport for the company is also arranged. So we have one pillar where we make sure that we have enough promotions about calculating or picking out or choosing the right vehicle for you. That's for you as an employee, but also for you as a company. And on the other hand, we have a pillar, and that's giving advice, making sure that the knowledge we have is provided for new clients, new customers, or new employees that are looking into a new leasing car. And the advice role is one of the pillars that we are trying to develop more and more. So we have to make sure that the information strategy and the content strategy is fitted for the right client, their needs for information, and we provide new types of tips or knowledge or trends that we are spotting, so they can make sure that we are one of the right advisors in the market.
Yeah, and how should I imagine that when I'm just imagining that I'm visiting your website, I'm looking at this beautiful car, and then how does this advice information reach me? Is this in the form of tips?
When you're looking at a car, you can of course use a couple of filters, and we as a company are trying to look into those filters. Can we make adjust those filters a little bit so it's more of a question and it's more of the daily use? What do you use the car for? How far do you have to drive every day? Is it important for you that you are flexible, or does it stand most of the time on a parking lot? And those kind of questions should help you in the right direction for the right car. And when you are looking at a car, most of the time you are just want to make sure that the pricing is right. So you can online ask for a offerte or a pricing.
Quote, yeah.
A quote, yeah, and the pricing. And then we, of course, give you a call, and then we go in a conversation by telephone to make sure that we have the right car for you. And when we're looking at the information for the companies and the car park managers, we try to create white papers, but also are looking into innovation days, looking into events that we can organize to make sure that the car part manager is always up to date, but also physically close by, so we can talk with them and create a conversation, because that's where you gain the most information about their needs and how we can make sure that the mobility policy or the products that we deliver are perfectly fitted.
Yeah. Okay, makes sense. And you were already touching on some of the channels you are using to reach these people, and that's a question we always ask. So maybe you can tell us a little bit more about your channel strategy as well. We probably have paid, but and might be interesting to look at that as well. But maybe you can take us through your channels and tell us what works and what doesn't for you.
Yeah, the main channel is of course the website, where we make sure that all the cars are there. We have a sort of online calculator, and our company is a group. I'm on the business side of it, and we also have a private lease opportunity, and the private lease side of the business has an online calculator that is able to calculate all the possible cars that we have. And on our side of the business side, we have paid advertisement. We do that by specific cars, specific deals that we have. We also have a financial lease opportunity. We try to create content and promote that via LinkedIn. And those are the two main channels. So we have Google advertisement and LinkedIn that are the most important channels for our company at the moment.
Yeah. And do you think, what was I trying to say about this? Well, maybe can you tell us a little bit about how LinkedIn compares to the paid ads? Is LinkedIn getting better for you, working better for you, or?
LinkedIn is at the moment most free advertisement, so just promoting content, and the paid advertisement is via Google. And I think my marketing manager probably would have a better view of what is better working for us. Mm-hmm. But we try to create new kinds of ideas about sharing the content and what kind of content we should share. Because when you are in a transforming organization and transforming market, you also have to think about new ways to reach the right decision maker. And so we create the right leads.
Yeah. And so, as I understand it, LinkedIn is not so much paid promotions as it is organic.
We focus more on organic promotion via LinkedIn. The paid promotion is mostly done by Google. Yeah. And of course, we have also other channels like the partnerships we work with. They are promoting our business, our community, or our cars via their channels.
Yeah. And do you have an idea of what content works very well on LinkedIn?
At the moment we are trying to gain a better knowledge about what is working best for us. Mm-hmm. When we look at the last years, what we are doing on LinkedIn, the most the things that work best were kind of small blogs about information. Most of the time information that happened recently. So try to, it's always hard to find the right words. There's news, it's new, it's happening right away, and try to be recent with your information strategy instead of long posts or long blogs is for our community or the people we try to reach at the moment, not the best working for us.
Yeah, I think we see that happening a lot, that LinkedIn is gaining more and more traction to especially in the business to business marketing, and that business to business content strategy on LinkedIn is something that everybody's looking at, but it's also still trying to find out what works best.
Yeah, it should sort of be authentic. An image works very well. Especially an image that complements, of course, the information that you are providing. Yeah, that's the things that we are seeing now that works best for us. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Nice. When you look at your history within this company and maybe also in previous companies, and there are also some highs and lows in your marketing and lead gen career. Are there some examples you like to share with us of things that didn't work out the way you expected, or that worked especially well?
Definitely, there are two things that are popping in my mind right away. The first thing is that you have to make sure that you do it a regular base. So be consistent, don't give up. Do it often and often and learn about the things that you see. Look into your dashboarding, see what works, what didn't work, and try to build on that. And especially the consistency, trying it for 1 month or 2 months or 3 months is definitely a good way to start. But it's way, way better if you try it for 1 year or 2 years, because then you can really see what's working and can see the flow and also see, hopefully, the growth in your marketing strategy. And what's one of the other things that I learned is that the customer journey that you are providing for your customers starts with, of course, lead generation, but it's very important to understand and think about how are we following up these clients. And when you look at B2B, I did some cold calling back in the days for B2B. It definitely had some opportunities to gain success, but it's difficult if you don't have a right follow-up program. So make sure that once you are in contact with a customer or a lead via which channel, whatever, if it's a LinkedIn reaction, if it's an email subscription, if it's a call or a first time meet at an event, try to make sure that you already know what the second contact moment will be. How does it going to look? And what is the next information of the new information you will tell your client or customer? Yeah. And if you have the right customer journey in the right flow, I think you can go very, very far with lead generation and success for your business.
Yeah, awesome. And it's interesting because we talked to an agency this week about helping us with the calling and following up with our leads. And this was exactly what they told us as well. They said, we can do this for you, but only if you have a good follow-up program in place after that. Yeah. Otherwise, you will blame us for arranging shitty calls. But it's not our problem; it's your problem with the follow-up. So that's a great tip. Okay.
It's a smart company that says that.
Yeah, and consistency, and that's not what we want to hear probably, because consistency is hard and it takes a long time, and we want some quick wins, Duncan.
Yeah, I know. it's very hard. I have the same problem with it as well. So consistency is also one of my focus areas. Yeah, but it's definitely one of the biggest things for success, I guess.
Yeah, it's just how it works, and the market is getting more and more moving in that direction, and lead gen is getting more in that direction with usable information, like we talked about on LinkedIn. So I know you have another meeting coming up, so I'm going to bring this to an end. But I have one more question for you. It's not the easiest, and that's since you are in this automotive industry and your company is changing, maybe you can share your light on how you envision the future of lead gen within this changing market and your company. Are there things that are really going to change, or is everything still going to be the same with paid and a little bit of content?
A lot of things will probably be the same. I think there are a lot of opportunities for business to business, and especially also in the automotive, is try to make new kinds of interaction with your customer and try to do it or physically or digital, but make sure that there is a conversation moment. There are a lot of ways to create information and sending. There are also a couple of ways to gain information when you're not sending, but they are coming to you. But make sure that there is a conversation moment, especially for B2B, also in the automotive, because where automotive was a leasing a car, there was a price, you have the right car, okay, let's make a deal. It's more and more about what is the policy, what are their future goals of the company, how did they want to let their employees travel, how transportation is going to be arranged. And that conversation, that level of conversation, providing in an early stage of Leadgen, I think is one of the most important ways to gain success as an automotive company in the next couple of years.
Yeah. And when you talk about a conversation, do you mean a live conversation, like a video call or maybe an in-person meeting, or do you also mean the conversation online?
It can be a conversation online via bots, but I'm not sure how well it could work. It could be, of course, a big customer panel that is behind the online tool that you use. It can also be a call like this. It can be in podcast that you invite them to come to talk with you, or it can via events or masterclasses or workshops. Moments that you are definitely in contact with your client. So you have a sort of conversation moment, and you can look deeper into their need. Especially for the automotive.
Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, and I imagine this.
Of course, but
I'm for a lot of business.
I'm not a specialist in other other branches, though. I'm looking into automotive at the moment.
Okay. No. Well, great, Duncan. Thank you very much for your insights, and
you're welcome.
Thank you for being on the podcast or the video cast or whatever you call it. And good luck with your business. And
thank you. You too, Bernard-Jan. Thank you for inviting us, and we see each other later on. Good luck.
When we are consistent with these talks, we might invite you again and see where you are standing in 1 or 2 years.
I see an invitation coming up.
Let's see if we can make it till then. Okay. Thank you very much, Duncan.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.